Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BDO 44 coming at you with another video. So, I just got through watching the Hawks versus the Bucks, and I took some things away from the game that I'd like to share with you guys. So, Chris Middleton is shooting the ball like that, and you're gonna lose. It's simple as that. When Chris Middleton gets that hot, there's no way anybody is gonna beat the Bucks at all. No one. Especially down the stretch of that game. He had 38 points, 7 assists, 11 rebounds. And it just seemed like everything he tossed up was going in down the stretch of the fourth quarter when they needed him the most. He just strung together like three straight long distance point shots. Two of them were threes, one of them was a two. He was just phenomenal down the stretch of the game and pulled. He single handedly closed the game for the Bucks. Giannis was fantastic throughout the meat of the game, so to speak, throughout the first three quarters. He was able to really dominate, exert his will in ways that I figured we would see eventually because there is no answer out there for him. The Hawks were playing pretty good. They were keeping the game close. But to be completely honest with you, the game turned somewhere in the third quarter when Trae Young found himself in a situation where he stepped on the referee's foot. From there, he twisted his ankle, and it was just a very unfortunate freak accident that removed him from the game. He did end up returning, but he was never himself, and he had it going. That's the really messed up that part about it. He had it going. Gallinari had it going. The Hawks did have some things working out for themselves. Onyeka Okongwu, the rookie, was able to kind of make a name for himself tonight by really exerting his energy against Giannis in some key moments down the stretch. Rebound the ball well, found himself in the right place at the right time. So he was a really big part of what the Hawks were able to do down the stretch. But ultimately, Chris Middleton just did not allow them any chance at all of walking away with a home victory. He just shot the ball. To be completely honest with you, it was one of the better performances you'll see. Just simply, period. In the last 8 minutes of the game, seeing Chris Middleton shoot was special. And you got to give credit to a guy when he has a performance like that. That's what it really comes down to. You didn't get a whole lot from Drew Holiday on the offensive end, but he was definitely loud on the defensive end. He had some big plays, and even though he wasn't necessarily able to affect things in ways that I'm sure he would like to, the other guys were able to pick it up around him. Bobby Portis was huge. I feel like I called that. Bobby Portis didn't play a whole lot in the Brooklyn series, and it was really strange to see Budenholzer kind of just see him fall out of favor in regards to Budenholzer. But obviously in this series, his number's been called and he's been answering the bell. He's been fantastic for the Bucks, and I thought that he was a big reason why the Bucks were able to maintain distance with the Atlanta Hawks, despite the Atlanta Hawks really having the lead and control of the game all the way through the third quarter until the Trae Young injury. That's really when things turned for the Atlanta Hawks, to be completely honest with you. It's just as simple as that. Now, here's something that I also noticed. Nate McMillan did not have his greatest coaching game this evening. He did not. What I saw out there was him leaving guys on the floor who probably weren't helping him a bit too long. Bogdanovich did not have it going tonight. There were situations where he had rhythm, momentum, key shots that you expect your shooter to make, and he just was not able to knock them down. Now, I know he's coming back from injury as well. He doesn't quite have his rhythm, and that's why I look at Nate McMillan and say, a guy's struggling. Maybe it's best to kind of move on from him. Those same shots that he was taking, I could have seen Kevin Huerter take those shots, or Gallinari take those shots, Lou Williams take those shots. I just didn't see enough from Bogdanovich on the defensive end to justify keeping him out there. Unlike Drew Holiday, who was fantastic on the defensive end, despite not shooting the ball well. If a guy's giving you enough in other areas, I'm happy. But what I saw from Bogdanovich a lot of the time, even earlier in the game when the Hawks were up, was him driving. There was one play where he had the ball. He dribbled maybe 20 seconds into the shot clock and ended up taking a rhythm three from like 21, 22 feet away, bricked it. I'm like, that's not offense, man. That's just not offense. And I know that the defense, the Bucks were running some stuff down there that kind of took away his passing angles. He didn't really have a whole lot. But, I mean, that's not what you need in the Eastern Conference Finals. There were certain plays that I thought the Hawks did not take the game as seriously as they should have. There was one play where I felt that Trae Young's shot selection wasn't great. Now, I know he likes to use the long three, just like Dame does, just like Steph does, and it opens up the floor for them, and I respect it because they can hit it consistently. But when you shoot it early in the shot clock, when you put yourself in a position to shoot it in inopportune times, it really does give the ball straight back to the defense, to the defense, and they're able to go down there with easy opportunities. I saw enough of that to look and say, yo, Nate, you got to drill in these young fellas' heads that this is the Eastern Conference Finals and stuff like that. Every possession matters. You can't take possessions off. And I thought that the Hawks kind of came in taking possessions off with kind of a laissez-faire attitude about things, even though they were playing pretty well. It wasn't like it was translating to them looking bad, but it's just like in key moments, yo, every single possession must be accounted for. And if you don't have that mentality, you're probably going to find yourself losing the series. Not just the game you're in, but the series. And, I've watched enough playoff basketball, seen enough winning basketball to know that. You cannot take plays off. So, yeah, I saw some stuff from the Hawks and made me say, yo, I'm looking at Nate. Because you got a young team out there. It's not a situation where you have a whole lot of vets leading the way. Everybody out there is young. So, they're going to need to be reminded going into game 4, be shown each and every play where that was the case. It was a few where they, you can just see it and show them how that ultimately led to them being in a position to where they got closed out. That spread would have been a lot further. The way that they were playing versus the way the Bucks were struggling in the first half, they could have had a much better cushion from which the Bucks would have had to work from. As to where the Bucks were able to win that game by almost 10 points, I think they won by 10 or something like that. It's like, no, that should not have happened. That shouldn't have happened. Even though Chris Middleton got hot on the end, some of the plays that I saw from the Atlanta Hawks just did them no favors. But all in all, it's very difficult, and I've said this a million times, it's very difficult when you remove your point guard from the lineup. And that's what ended up happening, unfortunately, through injury. We'll see what happens with Trae Young. Obviously, they're going to do treatment. And that was another thing that I looked at in regards to Nate. Maybe around the 2-minute mark, the game's kind of out of hand. It's like an 8-point deficit. Trae Young needs to be in the back getting treatment. And that's not just a coach thing. That's an organization thing. That's on a training staff thing. I understand this is the Eastern Conference Finals, and you kind of want to give yourself a chance to win this home game. But once a guy shows that he's hurt and he's not able to give you what he needs to give you, you need to get him some treatment because you got to start preparing for the next game. I thought that the Hawks really dropped the ball in regards to that today. That's your superstar. That's your closer. He shouldn't be out there running around when he can't help you, especially when the game is now at this point out of hand. So I thought they dropped the ball big time there. He was running around trying to shoot the ball. They're down 8 with like 1 minute and 36 seconds to go, and he's hurt. Nah. And that's the difference between organizations that are used to certain things and other organizations that maybe are experiencing things in real time. Because it's like, yo, nah, that's not how you handle that. That's not how you handle that at all. You got to go he should have been in the back getting treatment. So that was a thing. Unfortunately for the Hawks, John Collins got in foul trouble. And that kind of pulled him off the floor at the same time that Trae Young was off the floor. That did not help things for the Hawks. They definitely suffered there because what they ended up happening was stagnant offense. And even though Gallinari was having a fantastic game, they were able to close in on Gallinari, triple teaming him, double teaming him, not allowing him to stay in the rhythm that he was in, not allowing him to take some of the shots that other players ended up taking and they ultimately missed. So that was the thing down there. So yeah, Giannis exerted his will, and Middleton finished him off. Those two players played like their names would demand. That's what you saw out there. Stars being stars. The question is the is that going to translate into the next game, and what type of adjustments will both coaches make? Because the thing about Middleton is, we know, even though he had a fantastic game tonight, we do not expect him to score 40 the next game. Last time he did this, he came back and scored 8 the next game. I'd expect that, to be completely honest with you. Do not expect Middleton to keep playing like this. He runs hot and cold very, very quickly. So that's how I look at it. If he does this again, hey, I'm happy to be wrong. But history is a very, very interesting teller, and Middleton usually does not string together 2 games like this back to back. But it's the ECF, and they did snatch the first game in Atlanta to take a 2-1 lead due to his fantastic closing efforts. Stellar 3-point play, shooting. So it is what it is. The Bucks are up. Now, next phase, what happens with Trae Young? Hopefully, he's getting treatment now, finally. Hopefully, they can do what they need to do to make sure that he's 100%. I know it's a short window. The game's probably going to be in a day or two. So, it's not going to be too long of a wait for us fans to watch the game. But all in all, that's bad for the players who have to try to recover. So we'll see. We will see. Good defense was played this evening on both sides. I saw stretches of good defense. I saw stretches of very good rebounding. Giannis rebounded the ball tremendously, as did Middleton. So when you see that happening, the Bucks are going to definitely feel good about their chances. More Bobby Portis for the Bucks. As long as Bobby Portis is getting the type of minutes and he's getting featured as he is, they're going to be favored to win the games that they're in. It's that simple. The one thing that I thought that the Bucks were kind of hurting themselves with is not using that dude. He is capable of dropping 30 points. He's capable of stretching the floor. He's capable of doing high energy stuff and helping you on the boards. And you saw a taste of that tonight, and you're going to continue to. PJ Tucker is a player that I want on my team, dude. he's a guy that I don't even look at his stats. It doesn't matter. You just know that his impact is being felt on that floor. He was throwing his body weight around a lot tonight, playing fantastic defense all over the floor. And he deserves to be mentioned as one of the leaders on that team. Yeah, simple as that. And I'm telling you, the acquisition of him as well as Drew Holiday is why the Bucks are where they are. This is not the same Bucks team, and it's because of those 2 guys, to be completely honest with you. they have everybody else pretty much from last year and the years prior are the same. But what they ended up doing was bringing in 2 defensive dogs who are hungry for a championship. And they're close. And they can feel it right now. I'm sure they can feel it. So, hey, the Bucks got a good chance of winning this championship as any of the teams left right now, especially having a 2-1 lead on this Hawks team with another game to play on the road. This is going to be a very, obviously, pivotal and important game for both teams and both stars. Giannis is going to have to find a way to tie up this series so we can get it back to Milwaukee and give himself a chance to get a lead. Looking at this Bucks team, it was built around him. He signed a long deal. It's time for him to start winning. There's no excuses for that organization. They are where they want to be. Everything that they've done has worked. Now it's up to him to bring it home. Simple as that. No excuses. Milwaukee is ready. They look like they got 10,000 people out there every night rooting for that team. In the streets, it's crazy. The atmosphere is ready for the Bucks to win. There's no excuses. Everything's lined up perfect for Giannis. Even the competition should be beatable, honestly. They should be. There's no one left that should be superior to Giannis in his mind. And seeing him going up against KD, he was humble. He was also blessed to get out of that series. But looking at the tea leaves, I look at CP3. I respect CP3, but he should not be able to stop Giannis. I respect the Clippers. Paul George should not be able to stop Giannis. Kawhi Leonard is out. And I look at the Atlanta Hawks, and we see what's going on there. He should win the championship. There's no more excuses. Now, I'm not rooting for his team. I got my own interest involved in this whole situation. I'm personally rooting for a Hawks-Suns finals. But removing my own interest from this, the Bucks are where they want to be. We've been watching them build this situation for a long time. We've watched them go through a lot for a long time, trying to keep Giannis, trying to build around this individual, trying to develop him even. This goes back even further than that. This goes way back probably to the year he was drafted. It all led up to this point. Simple as that. So, we'll see. He's down 2-1. It's the best chance he's going to ever have at winning a championship, in my opinion. With the Milwaukee Bucks, that is. It's the best chance he'll ever have. My name is BDF44. I'll leave it at that. Can't wait for the next game. It's been a great playoff series, both sides of it. And I don't think either one of these series are anywhere near done. Got a long way to go. Thanks for watching. I'm out.